Today I'm going to look into why making lasting change in our life can be really tricky. And I'm also going to give you a few very straightforward ideas that if you take them on board, do them and run with them, can make a massive difference in how much change you can make, and not only that, making it stick, last in the long term. You see, here's the thing, when we want to embark on change, we always start out with the best of intentions. And this change could be anything from losing weight, getting fit, improving your mindset, improving your career, developing a business, literally pretty much anything, relationships, all of it. We start out with the best of intentions and we develop a plan and what we want to do, etc. And then far too often and far too easily, we slip back into where we were, and sometimes even in a worse position than we were when we started this trip. I mean, it's a good example. Gym membership goes like this in January as people set New Year resolutions to get fit and get in shape and lose some weight. And unfortunately, come the end of February, the gyms are just as empty as they were at the end of the previous year. Why? Because a lot of these resolutions were not particularly well thought through. They were just an idea at the time, and there's no proper plan for making this change stick. So that's actually quite common with New Year resolutions. 95% of New Year resolutions fall by the wayside, and that's not just New Year's, it's change in life in general. So many people fail, largely because they don't understand a few simple concepts that could make the massive difference. So this is what we're going to cover today. Now, the key reason why change is so difficult is because we are working against our own subconscious. That's right, we are working against ourselves. Your subconscious is that internal operating system in your brain that just keeps things ticking along. It tackles millions of different messages every minute coming from all of your body, your environment, your thoughts, your emotions, and also taking on board what happened in the past and trying to steer you towards that comfortable future. The subconscious can be reprogrammed though, and that's the good news, but it takes a little bit of effort. And if you don't make the effort, you're just going to keep doing the same things you've done over and over again in the past, and you just can't help it. Your subconscious just keeps things ticking over in that comfortable, manageable environment that you've always had. But before we move on, I want to just get a wee bit philosophical. Now, the Buddha, who was alive 2,500 years ago, said that desire is the root of all unhappiness. And now here's the trick, because he wasn't saying that desire was a bad thing. It's just that desire, when it really takes root, can make you unhappy. Because unfortunately, because of our conscious and our subconscious minds, we are often in conflict with ourselves. What we tell ourselves that we want in the conscious mind is often undermined by our subconscious mind, trying to keep things, as I said, the way they've always been. And this can be a real challenge. So let's begin to unpack this. Let's begin to work on improving this, and let's begin to get into the nuggets of changing this subconscious and changing your life. But first I want to use a quick analogy. Now, getting a spaceship off the ground and into orbit takes an awful lot of work, and a huge amount of energy. The fuel that this spaceship have is just in those first 60 seconds, getting it off to the ground and getting it into the air. And your change in life is very much the same. But it all starts with, what are you trying to aim at? What is it that you want? In the spaceship analogy, the spaceship, the NASA and whoever it is, wants to get that spaceship off the ground and into orbit. The goal is into orbit. But all the energy almost all of the energy is taken up in that first 30 seconds, getting it off the ground and getting it some momentum towards the atmosphere and up towards space. Now, personal change is the exact same thing. You need to start with what it is that you want, and it needs to be crystal clear. Nobody sends a rocket into space without some idea of what they want to do. Same thing with getting in your car. You never get in your car with nowhere to go. You almost always have a destination. A sat-nav will help you get to that route, but you need to give the sat-nav the destination. Otherwise, it's just a useless gadget. The same thing with trying to make change in your life. So, you need to have that. First of all, that crystal clear goal. The next thing is we're going to need to focus on getting some initial momentum. We need to get action underway. So how do we get this action underway? Well, it all starts small. Take small steps to begin to take you where to go. If you've ever watched a rocket launching, it doesn't suddenly go boom. It literally starts off really, really slowly, and as the fuel starts to kick in, the speed gets up, and then off it goes. But that initial starting point is really, really slow, surprisingly slow. And the same thing is with your personal change and personal development. Take small steps to begin to make some progress. Now, the good thing about it is if you can take small steps and can see yourself making progress, you can give yourself a pat on the back and say, I'm getting there, I'm moving on. And the next thing, and this is the essential, crucial part, you need to be consistent and persistent. Make those small changes, do it again and again and again and again, and just keep going until you start getting that momentum and you start seeing that change you want in your life. And this is the tricky bit. Your subconscious, your habits, your thinking will always want to take you back to where you started or previous to the start point. When you hear this, just simply say, I'm going to take that next small step. I'm going to take that next little step. The problem is that it will be nagging away in your brain. If you're on a diet, every single donut will look more delicious than it's ever been. You know, when you're trying to get fit, staying at home watching Netflix will be far more attractive than it's ever been, rather than getting up and going to the gym or going for a run or going to the garage to work out. You know, and this is the thing. You need to be aware of the fact that your subconscious is going to try and keep you where you have been because it's comfortable and it's managed. It's trying to resist. But the cool thing is once you're aware of this, you begin to say, okay, no, I'm just going to take a little step. That could be as simple as putting on your running shoes. That could be as simple as putting things into your gym bag. Could be, you know, as simple as simply saying, no donuts today, maybe later. The more you do this, the easier it becomes. The easier it becomes, the more you end up doing this, and you get faster and faster momentum, like the spaceship starts off slow and eventually takes off like that. You and your change will be exactly the same, and you can do this. So, in conclusion, the reason we struggle to change is because our subconscious wants to keep us right where we are. It wants to keep things comfortable and managed. Once you recognize this, you can then begin to think, well, okay, well, what do I want in my life, and how can we begin to tackle my subconscious, my resistance to change? When you've worked this out, start taking small incremental steps. Don't, you know, if you haven't been to the gym for years, then suddenly doing a 2-hour workout is going to be unwise. Can you go for a walk just to get started? Can you, just walk up some stairs on a regular basis just to get a little bit of momentum? Can you, say no to the donut today? Maybe say, well, maybe I'll have one later. Just say no now. The more you say no now to that temptation, the easier it becomes to say no in the future once you get some momentum. And then, most crucially, keep going. Keep doing it day in, day out until you get where you want to go. Like I said, the best thing is that once you get some momentum, you will pick up some motivation, and it kind of becomes an expanding spiral of taking you where it is you say you want to go. So if you found that useful, make sure you hit that like, give the video a bit of thumbs up. If you want more tips and ideas on development, overcoming procrastination, overcoming self-sabotage, and moving towards self-improvement and personal growth, make sure you hit that subscribe button. But in the meantime, I'd love to hear from you. If there's something you've done to begin to change, improve your life, please write it in the comments below. It would be great to hear from you. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.